Hey guys, Romy here. So this is the recap, the review for Big Brother 18, episode 16. Now, please like, comment, subscribe if you're a first time viewer, and of course if you're a returning viewer, thank you, and please like and comment on this video. Now, with this episode, I must say, this had one of the best competitions of the season, because of all, it had everything. So how it actually starts off is Victor comes back into the house and quickly Frank tries to wrangle Victor, and Paul notices that, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be close to Victor. Victor's supposed to be trusting and of me, and yet here he is with Frank of all people, and Frank is trying to dig his claws in. Now mind you, when Victor came back into the house, he was told trust no one, and then he was also told trust Frank, trust Frank. Now, Victor's coming in to initially see what's going on, because he has no idea what's been happening in the house for a while. But the real issue is that Frank can't be trusted either. And Victor's not dumb. He's not just going to go and blindly trust Frank, but Frank's trying to spin this narrative of, oh, Nicole informed him that here's the two people that Devon wanted out, and in this order, Frank and Victor. Now, of course, because right before the live eviction, people are thinking, oh crap, what if Victor comes back? Just hypothetically. So, it's not that Nicole lied, it's just that Nicole shouldn't have spewed that information to Frank, because Frank has shown time and time and again that he can't be trusted. And Frank, again, is trying to wrangle in more people just to see where their heads are at, to make sure to know where and who the plan is. Now, Paul is trying to make sure that everyone knows that he has Victor's ear. He is Victor's ear. Don't make any big moves against Victor. Victor is the type of person where he had to battle back multiple people. James, he got the math wrong. It's okay, James. He didn't have to battle all 4 people. But he did have to battle his way back into the house, which means that he had to face multiple types of competitions, which means he's good at competitions. It was clear before he left the house. It's still evident now. And so now it's time for the head of household competition. And the first person to drop out of all people is Paul. I thought it made sense because Paul, I feel like Paul is a little too antsy to be good at a competition where you had to stand still. No, where you had to multitask by having your one arm up and then, moving your legs. Because that was the competition. At first I was thinking, wait a minute, Victor already played this set. This will be unfair. But then I actually saw what they were going to be doing this time. Of course it was going to be still the BB Disco, the BB Nightclub, whatever it's called. And, this competition lasted for over 6 hours. This was because I was looking on social media and they're like, the competition's still going on. It's still going on. It took 6. I'm like, wait, how long? How long? The sun came up and everything, and so it whittled down to a final 3, and the final 3 consisted of. It's funny. No, it's not funny. It's messed up because Victor lost at least the time that he lost because of the fact that they were all trying to drink something when I believe, was it Corey? Possibly Corey got knocked out. Frank wanted some water, so he went and drank some water, then he passed it along to James. Then, of course, since there's a gap in between James and Victor was just like, okay, just throw it to me. James was like, are you sure? No, it doesn't have a cap on. It's just like, no, I'll catch it. I'm thinking, Victor, you're trying to win this competition. Why are you doing something like that? As soon as Victor goes to try and get it, now mind you, this lever is so sensitive, if you just jerk your hand a little bit, it will let loose. Unless you jerk like upwards. So, Victor got knocked out because of that. Frank was trying to be goofy, and because of that he got knocked out. Now it's a 3-way tie between Bridget, James, and Devon. Now Devon looked solid. Bridget looked like she wasn't gonna make it for like a couple of more hours. That didn't look like it was in the cards. But Devon and James looked like they were ready to go. And Devon just said, you know what? She trusts James. She'll throw it to James. Not a problem. Bridget, again, this is why I love this competition, this one in particular, because it was a rare sight where people were just spewing all of this information. Da'Vonne made very clear, she's just like, I don't have a personal problem with you, Bridget, but your associate over there, I don't trust the two of you together. I don't trust the collective, and because I don't trust the collective, I can't possibly just give up and throw this to you because I know you're not going to keep me safe. It was evident before that the fact that I got put on the block and there was a chance for me to actually go home, it's evident that your side can't be trusted. So no, I'm not throwing it to you regardless of what you have to say. James is like, is someone going to throw it to me? They're like, no. Well, Da'Vonne was like, I'll throw it to you if Bridget knocks herself out first. And this is where Frank comes in. Frank is trying to do everything he can to talk sweet nothings into Da'Vonne's ear. So Frank goes and informs Da'Vonne, you know what? There was a plan. That plan consists of Nicole. You went and told Nicole that you wanted me out and then Victor, and in that order. And so, because originally Frank wasn't saying the name, so Da'Vonne was just like, no, power is leverage. Knowledge is leverage, so you need to go and give me something if you want me to give you something in return. And then Da'Vonne's like, okay, I see how this is. Bridget doesn't want to throw it to me. Oh, okay. Nicole! No, Frank, I don't care. Yeah, I know what I said, but I don't trust you. Nicole! Did you actually tell Frank that I wanted him, Victor, out? Did you actually say that? Of course, Nicole's like, no, I have no idea. Frank, you're such a liar. Why would you say that? Of course Nicole said that. Of course Nicole said that. But everyone had to act it off like that never happened. So, because of that, now Da'Vonne's like, you know what? So I can't trust you, and I definitely still can't trust her. And the thing is, Da'Vonne's smart because she knows that she can't blow up on Nicole. Does she trust Nicole? But she trusts her more than Frank. So Da'Vonne's like, here's the deal. I will throw it to James. I will throw it to James. I will not throw it to you. I do not trust your associate. You're actually cool. Him, nah. So James officially becomes the new HOH, and James, again, he looks solid as well. Endurance competitions, things like that, he's definitely really good at. So I wasn't surprised. Now, as I said, Da'Vonne talked to Nicole, and while they were talking, had their little discussion, Nicole was just like, I have no idea what's going on. Frank has been doing this BS for the past couple of weeks where, you know me, we're working together. I do not trust him. I do not like him. It's just like, of course I know. It's just like, yeah, that never happened. I'm so pissed that he put it out there because now people are going to look at me crazy. It's just like, no, I understand. And of course, in her confessionals, Da'Vonne saying, do I trust her? No. But do I trust her more than Frank? Yeah. So that I have to go and pretend like, oh yes, I believe you, I believe. And of course, Natalie's congratulating James. Corey goes and talks to Nicole, and Corey, see, the thing I like about him is he's really level-headed. Corey doesn't trust Frank, but he's pretending like he trusts Frank. I know sometimes we forget that, but in reality, he does not trust Frank. So, the interesting thing about that is, Corey, it's just like, what is wrong with you? It's like, oh, it's okay. But what is wrong with you? Why would you trust Frank with anything? You see, we have general talk. I let him do most of the talking. You went and you said something and it got back to someone else. That was your fault. What were you thinking? She's just like, I don't know. I just like, and then Frank comes in. She's just like, can we talk later? It's like, of course we can talk later. What? How? And then as soon as he leaves, Nicole says, I'll never talk to freaking Frank. I can't trust him. So it's like, yeah, that's right. Don't say a word to him. Bridget and Natalie make an agreement that James isn't going to put up Bridget. I'm thinking, Natalie, that was cute, no, but this is James, HOH. So, and the house wants one of them out. They really want Frank out, but Bridget is collateral damage. So, there's a impromptu house meeting of sorts. And again, this is where Paul is working his magic and is just trying to let everyone know, especially James, Victor is good. Victor is not gunning after anyone. Victor just wants to stay low. Victor does not trust Frank. Victor knows that Frank is trying to plot something, so he's just letting Frank say whatever he wants to say. But he's on our side. He's with us. You know, so he shouldn't be the target. You know, everyone's hearing it because they're like, yeah, Frank's been doing this mess for the past couple of weeks, so he has to get out sooner or later. Paul goes back to Victor and informs him that Frank is the target this week. Frank isn't. So what I need you to do is lay low. Lay low. Do not be an alpha male. See, all of that vibrato and everything that you were doing before you got kicked out of the house, I don't want to see that ever again in this house, because if I do, you're gone. So you really, really just need to lay low, shut up, play nice, and no one will come after you. You hear me? I'm the only person that voted to keep you in the house. Just remember that. Frank is going and talking with Bridget, and you know, they're thinking that overall their deal that they made with James is good, or the deal that Bridget made with James is good. Devon goes and talks to James, and Devon just really needs to hammer in James' mind, look, he has to go. Frank and Bridget, they cannot be trusted. Victor isn't an issue. Frank and Bridget, they have to go because they've been doing a lot in this house and been getting away with it. They've been flipping votes and all that. I'm like, Devon is good this season because she's been actually doing the most vote flipping and changing people's minds, and they kind of know it, but because there's bigger targets, Lord, she's gonna have to start winning competitions, because if she does not, she'll be out of there in the first double eviction. I already see it. She'll be out in the first double eviction because she's been doing a lot these past couple of weeks. It's been paying off overall, but still, people do have long-term memories in this game. Victor goes and talks to James to just make sure that he's like, you know, I know what the plan is. I know that you're pretty much going after Frank and Bridget. And of course, Natalie's just like, you know, you made a promise. You made a promise to them. You can't do it. And I told her that you wouldn't come after her. And James, of course, is telling Victor that, yeah, it's still good, but he's still contemplating, like, I don't know. So when James talks to Paul, he's thinking possibly putting up Victor, just hypothetically in his mind. But Paul's saying, you realize you cannot trust someone like him. He is a snake, and when I say him, I mean Frank. He is a snake. He will get you out sooner rather than later. He will not think twice about it, and he'll make you think that it was all your fault. We can't have him in the house. And Bridget, we like Bridget. We don't necessarily want her out of the house, but there's no reason to put anyone else up there, because God forbid if Frank loses, then now that means that Bridget is still in the house. At least if it's Frank and Bridget in the beginning. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. This is a spoiler alert. Oh yeah, no, I'll give it to you at the end. Now, Frank goes and talks to James to try and cement, okay, so what's his thought process? James is thinking maybe he'll put up Victor. It's not really clear who his other person would be, but he's just like, oh, so it's not going to be me? No, it's not going to be Bridget? No. So he's just, and Frank asked James, so it's not going to be me up there with Bridget? That's what he actually asked James, and said, no, of course not. No, I'm sorry. He said, it's not going to be me up there with Victor. It's like, no, of course not. Because it's going to be you up there with Bridget. Now, it's nominations. And of course, James puts up Frank and Bridget. They were devastated. They were so shocked. Devon was just like, hey, hey. Everyone else was pretty much just like, hey, hey. Frank and Bridget was just like, oh. So that was it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Oh yeah, and the spoiler alert is that Michelle won the power veto, and you know Michelle does not like Bridget or Frank, so she probably won't use it. Come back next week. Let me know what you think.